Okay. Good morning, everyone. And this is Joshua. I am the salesman of Felicity Solar. And today we're going to talk about the system installation and precautions because some of our new installers and dealers don't know much about our systems. And that's the reason why we do this live streaming. And after you watching this live streaming, you will reduce the misinstallation and will help you reduce the breakdown to install properly and safely. Okay, so let's go and let's talk about our content today. Our content has 3 steps. The first step is the multiple battery connection in parallel, our dip switches setting and communication cables connection. And that's the first part. And the second part is about the inverter steps. We'll tell you how to connect our inverters in parallel properly and safely. There are some points you should pay attention to. So just waiting. Okay. Part 3. There will be a introduction about our battery pack banner box. That is our newly pushed up products. Okay. So let's go into the first step. I will show you a video about our products. Okay. You can see the 2 bars, the positive bars to the negative bars, is inverters and our batteries. Firstly, you can see that we connect the positive cables and the negative cables to this bar. Just like that. All the batteries, their cables, they're connected to this. This is negative and this is positive. All of them are connected. Okay. So next is about the communication port. All the batteries in one system should be connected to each other. We connected from one to another. Just like this. And then it's about the dip switch. We'll show you in this next picture. Yes, the dip switch. So what is the dip switch? A dip switch is the ID card, just like the ID number of every battery, so that when they connect it to the inverter can recognize them from each other. So, for example, you have your inverter is connected to one battery. You also need turn on 1 and 5 on, just like you showed in this picture. So if you have 4 batteries, you should pay attention. You should turn on every battery's dip switch on, just according to this chart. But what you should pay attention to is that the inverters need to be connected to the first battery. So, which one is the first battery? The first battery is the battery pack with 1 and 5 on. Just like 1, 5 on. Just like the chart show you. So we can go back to our videos. Just see that. You can see that in these videos we have several batteries. Just like this. We have 6. And if we select, we adjusted the dip switch. First one is the cables. Communication port. So if the first one has the dip switch on, if you adjust the 1 and the 5 on of this dip switch, and this battery will be the first one. What you should do just to connect the RS485 to connect the communication port to this port. Okay, use this cable to connect them. Okay, and this one is the first one. Okay, that's very simple. Okay, next is about the parallel installation. There are 7 steps we should do. The first step is about the distance. You know, the inverters, they will generate heat. So that's the reason why we suggested you to keep them in some distance. Yeah, just like from 20 centimeter to 50 centimeter. Just to let them work individually. Next step. Step 2, you should connect the AC input, AC output, the parallel communication cable, current sharing cable. Yeah, the step 2 is mainly about the connection of our cables. You should pay attention to that, because in this red sentence, make sure AC output and cables be combined, and you should connect all the inverters in the same battery group. Step 3, setting battery dip switch and connect communication cables. Yeah, just as I show you in this video. Yeah. Step 4, turn on battery and doing inverter parallel setting, program 28. Yeah, you know, our program 28 is the parallel mode. You should set the mode one by one individually, because it has when you finish the setting, the inverter will have output. So in order to avoid affecting others, when you finish the setting, you should turn off it. Number 5, keep battery group on, turn on the inverter one by one, and confirm all inverters output is normal. Okay. Step 6, turn on AC input and PV input one by one. Okay, that's very easy and very simple. That should be it. Step 7, each inverter should be connected to solar panel group individually. So, for example, if you have 3 inverters, so your solar panels should be divided into 3 groups to match the inverter numbers. Because the inverters, they receive the power generated from the PV side. So to let the inverters work properly and balancedly, the panels should be divided into the same number of our inverters. Yeah, that's the 7 main steps you should pay attention to when you doing the parallel installation. Yeah, just to repeat it. The installation distance should be 20 to 50 centimeters. And about the cables, especially the output cables of AC, yeah, the grid, and you should connect all the inverters and the batteries in one group. Okay, and the third one is about the dip switch. The dip switch 1 and 5 on. The dip switch 1 and 5 on. The battery with 1151 is the first one, and the first one should connect the communication cables with the inverters. Yes, right. And number 4, just setting the program. Yeah, our program 28 is the parallel mode. Number 5, step 5, just very easy, confirm all the output is normal. Number 6, just turn on the AC and the PV input one by one. Step 7, let them work individually. Yes. And so that's the main parallel installation steps. Okay, so let's go into some pieces. Yeah, it is about our power frequency parallel installation. Our power frequency inverters has IVPS and IVPN. There are some suggestions to you and some points you should pay attention to. For our power frequency inverters, there are 2 different operation modes, just like the 3-phase and the single phase. You can connect them in these 2 modes, and for this mode, the maximum output power can be 48 kilowatts and 60 kilovoltage ampere. So, and there's a note, before setting up the inverter, you should connect the first battery. You should connect the communication cables with the first battery, and you should pay attention to the sharing cable. The current sharing cable, we will talk about it later in our cases. Okay. So, and about the red sentences, you should pay special attention to the negative lines of all batteries. They need to be connected together. Yes, and that's the main. But don't forget our IVPS and IVPN. They only 10K support parallel mode. Okay, others do not support temporarily, and we are trying to develop our new products. But now only the 10K can support the parallel mode. Only 10, so 10K for 6 causes 60 kilowatt ampere. Yeah, that's it. So let's go into the next step. This one is our single phase parallel of our power frequency inverter. So I'll tell you something you should pay attention to avoid some breakdown maybe. So the first one you should pay attention to is that you are supposed to install air switches between the inverters and the batteries. Just you can see from this chart, from this picture. Yeah, you can see there are air switches between them and the battery. Yeah, that's it. And next, we're going to talk about the communication connection. The communication connection, you can see there are 2 different colors, the red one and the green one. The red one is our communication cables between inverters, and the green cables is the current sharing communication cables. Current sharing cables. So, but it is not very simple in this picture. So I'll show you how they connected. Okay. So you can see that the cables, the red one, the first one is connected with 2, and 2 is connected with the 4th one, and the 4th one is connected to the 6th one, the last one, and then to the upper load, to the upper, the 6th one is connected to the 5th one, and the 5th one is connected to the 3rd one. Then the 3rd one is connected to the 1st one. So you can see that it is a circle, right? But why don't we just connect them one by one? It's just like we connected then the 1st one to the 2nd one, the 2nd one to the 3rd one, 1st to the 3rd to the 4th, and the reason why we do like that is just to let all the inverters, they have the communication, have the shortest communication with each other, especially the 1st one to the last one. We have to shorten we have to make the communication distance short as much as possible. So that's the reason why we do in this way. So what you need to do is just to install, just to connect the cables according to this chart, according to these cables, according to this picture. Yeah. So yeah, that's the communication cables. And then we're going to talk about the current sharing cables. Current sharing cables is the green one. It is the same, their connection way is the same. You can see the 1st one is connected to the 2nd one. The 3rd one is connected to the 5th one. The 5th one to the 6th one. And the 2nd one is connected to the 4th one. But you need just to remember all of them is the same. Their connection way is the same. So I don't want to repeat it again. Okay. So that's the single phase parallel. Next, 3-phase parallel. It is also the power frequency 3-phase parallel, but what is differently is it's just about the line, the AC input and AC output, and the current sharing cables. Yeah, L1, L2, L3, only 3, and you can see that what is differently is that the phase. You can see they're dividing into 3. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and the current sharing cable is limited in one phase, because you can see that there's the green current sharing cables. And why? So why we shouldn't connect the current sharing cable with other phases, just like the communication lines, just like the communication cables? Why? Because there are different cables. There are different phases, and different phases has different output power. Different output power requires different ampere, different current. And the green cables are the current sharing cables. If they are connected to different phases, their outputs will be unstable and unbalanced, which will damage the options. And then let's talk about our high frequency parallel installations. Yeah, let's take the IVEM series, for example. These inverters can also be connected in parallel and with 2 different operation modes. Yeah, just like the single phase and the 3-phase, and just like the power frequency inverter. But what is differently is it can be connected it can be connected to maximum 12 units together in parallel, which can cause 60 kilowatt maximally. But before setting up the inverter, the first connect also should connect the current sharing cable and communication cables firstly. If you do not connect the communication cables and the current sharing cables, you will damage the battery, damage the inverters and batteries. And also, you should pay attention. The IVEM only support 5K, 5 kilowatt voltage amperes. This type of machine can support the parallel mode. Others, like the IVEM 3024, they don't support it. Okay, only 5K support. Yeah, that's it. So let's see the pictures, Let's see the parallel of our IVEM, the single phase parallel installations. You can see this, the IVEM 5048, the AC breaker between inverters and the batteries, and the air switch of the AC. Firstly, it's a connection between the inverters and the air switch. Yeah, you can see that. And then you can see this. The red cable is the communication cables. The communication cables is connected from one to another. They're connected in parallel. But yes, also the current sharing cable is the same because it is single phase parallel. They can be connected to each other in this phase. And these cables, just very easy. The power cables just connected them positive to positive, negative to negative. And then you should pay attention to the communication cables. The communication cables between the batteries. Yes, you should connect them from one to another, Yeah, this one to this one. And if you choose this one as your first one, this means you adjusted the dip switch 1 of 5 on, and that will be your first battery. And you should connect the communication lines, connect to the inverters, just like this. Yeah, you should do it like that. Don't forget about the communication lines, okay? Yeah, you can see that it's in parallel mode. Next, after we introduce the single phase, we talk about the 3 phases parallel installation. And most of them is the same connection. But what is different is this. You can see that the red cables is the same as before, but the blue cables is different because it is different, because it is 3 phase parallel installations. And we just mentioned before, in different phase, they are not allowed to connect to each other. So the current sharing cables only be connected in the same phase. Yeah, they are individual. They are individually. Yeah. Also, the communication cables should be connected. Yeah. The RS485 to the inverters. 485, the black one. Okay. After we introduce the installation, let's just have a look at our videos. Okay. Yeah. After you do the installation, then you should press the button of the battery, and you just need to press 1 because they are connected. They have the communication. So you just press 1, and other batteries will be start at the same time. And then the inverter. Before setting up the inverter, you should turn it on. Just to press the button on the side of the inverter. Yeah, when the LCD is on, you should press the button. Press the enter button. Yeah, this way, and the enter button. Press it for about 3 seconds. And it will beep. It will make a sound, and then you can press it again to set. Then you press to choose 28. To choose program 28, that is our parallel mode. And then when it's glitching, you press the enter, and when the 3P1 is flashing, it means you are selected in this inverter as the first inverter of this three-phase, as the first one of this three-phase installer, as the three-phase system. Sorry. And then you can see the flashing, and then back to the premiere, to the start screen, and you can see the P1. It means it is the first one. After you finish the setting, you should turn it off. Yeah, don't forget to turn it off, because when you have finished the setting, it will have the output. So in order to not affect other inverters, you should turn it off. And then let's go into the next inverter. It has the same steps. Just to press the button for about 3 seconds. When it is making sound, when you can press it again to set, and you can select 28, the parallel mode, and choose, and then press enter and choose the 3P2. 3P2 means the second one of the three-phase system. When it is flashing, you enter and back to the main menu. You can see P2. P2 means the second one of this three-phase system. Okay, so the third one is also the same setting. Just press the button. Press the button for 3 seconds. Then select 28. That's the parallel mode, and flash enter. Select 3P3, the third one of the three-phase system, and enter. And then back to the main menu. And you can see the P3. That means the third one. And that's all you need to do after you finish the installation. And that's the setting. That's how you should set the inverter. How you set the inverter in the three-phase installation. Okay, that's all. That's it. That's all of it. So after we guide you how to do the installation, last one we're going to talk about the battery pack communication, combiner box introduction. That's our brand new product. The main purpose is to protect the battery, to protect to protect our the lead acid battery, our lithium battery. Yeah, so let's see the next picture firstly. Yeah, that's the picture. You can see that there are 6 air switch. There are 6 air switches, and this is the copper bar. Yeah, positive, negative, the input and output. Yeah, for each air switch, the rated current, you can see it is huge. It is 125 ampere for each air switch, and the voltage is 80. It's 80 voltage. Excuse me? 你说说。
正负极不是所有输出，正负极。
Okay, so I'm sorry. We'll talk about it later. And yeah, that's basic information. Yeah, and this is positive, and this one is negative. Okay, and it has some sign to show you. Yes, positive, negative. Yeah, that's the air switch. As for this combiner box, battery combiner box, we have 4. We have 4 types. The first type is the one with 6 air switches, and the second one is with 3 air switches, and we have with the battery combiner box without breakers. So why we do that? Because for our battery, like the huge capacity, like the LPBF 48300, it has its own air switch on its side. So now that it has its own air switch, we don't need to set an air switch again. So in the huge capacity system, we can install a battery combiner box to protect the battery, because all the lithium battery, they're connected in parallel. So they're connected in parallel, so they will connect the positive to positive, negative to negative, and finally the last one, especially the last one, its current will be very huge, which will cause much heat. When the current is huge, they will cause a much heat, because there was cases that some customer was once connected much huge capacity, and the current was very huge, which causes the terminals was melted and caused the huge fire. So in order to avoid these cases happen again, in order to protect our property, protect our battery, we suggested you to install a battery combiner box. They will protect your battery because it has huge. It can bear huge in the current, almost maximum 750. But if you have more than 6 batteries, we can support you a parallel mode, because you can see this in this mode, in this picture, as the pole. This is designed for the parallel. Yeah, just like this. It connected them in parallel. Yeah, that's our new product, the PV combiner box. Its main purpose is to protect your battery, especially the huge system in the commercial, especially commercial, because some customers they don't care about the current, so just as I mentioned, which causes a fire. It's a great loss. So just to protect your battery and your system, protect your property. This one is bit battery combiner box is a necessary one. Okay. All right. Maybe that's all the things I have mentioned. Anyone have problem? Just to type in this. Just to type, and I will answer you. Okay. Please, excuse me, and there's one you should pay attention to. Just that when you connected the batteries, don't connect them in the wrong way. You need to remember, connect positive to positive, negative to negative. Don't connect them in the wrong way, okay? And for the inverters, the AC input, N line of AC input and N line of AC output, don't connect them to each other, because some customers they may connect the N line from this one, from the first one to the next one, to the next one to the third one. It is not allowed. Please don't do that. It will damage your inverter. It's very dangerous. So just to connect them to like this in the air switch. Okay. Yes, that's all. Any questions? Just feel free to ask. I'm waiting for your questions.